Let's talk about what's happening in Uganda right now. Just 2 days before the Pride Month began, the country passed the world's harshest law against the LGBTQ community. It is called the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023. Same-sex relations were already illegal in Uganda, but this new law targets the people of the LGBTQ community like never before. I'm Ananya Datta, and this is The Witness.
I am Stephen Kabuye, and this is my story. I came out to my family last year in June. That's after someone came out and openly and threatened me to abduct me and take me and use me as a sex tool just because I failed to comply with him on the internet about the same issues, sex issues. So I had to come out openly to inform my family that my life is in danger. I explained it to my mom, and then I sat her down. I explained her to the dangers, and then to the rest of the relatives, they didn't take it. They didn't take it nicely, and most of them we don't talk. Most of them even threatened me with violence right now after the law was signed by the president.
When the bill was brought into the parliament, it was painted in a very strategic way. The 78-year-old president called the people of the community a lot of things: deviants, psychologically disoriented, and even child molesters. And anyone who opposed this idea was branded an imperialist, someone who is trying to corrupt Ugandans with Western ideologies.
As a person who was on the forefront to fight against the bill before it was signed into law, I had reached an extent of having hope, because the world had threatened the government with sanctions. We had come out to inform them that we are not really a danger to the society. We are not perceived as you perceive us.
In Uganda, the law says if sexual act is performed with the same sex, you can face up to life imprisonment, or even for attempting it could land you at most 10 years behind bars. If you are caught officiating or even attending a same-sex marriage, imprisonment up to 10 years could be ruled. If you're seen promoting homosexuality in any form, that could be up to 20 years in prison. Activists say it is like being in a permanent lockdown, but only worse.
For me, my reaction when the bill was signed into law, it found me at my place, at my home. It was my new home, because I had got away from my old home because of the death threats I was getting directly from online and then directly from the people I knew. So I came out with a statement on Twitter, with a tweet that I was upset about the signing of it into law. Then the hate I got under that tweet influenced a lot of people, to an extent that they even attacked my colleague who I work with in Colored Voices, and he was beaten badly, and I found myself even having hypertension attacks because I was in shock and I was in fear of my life.
The most concerning offense in this new law is the aggravated homosexuality clause. It stipulates death penalty for transmitting HIV/AIDS through gay sex. Now, there is already existent stigma and discrimination attached to these illnesses, and within weeks of the law coming into effect, the impact is already being felt. Treatment centers in Kampala, the capital, are empty. The usual inflow of about 50 patients in this clinic has all but dried up. Staffers say that everyone is in fear of coming under the government's radar. Until this year, clinics had been a beacon of success for the fight against HIV in Uganda, where 1.4 million people live with the virus and 17,000 die each year. So the new law puts years of progress in jeopardy. Patients from the LGBTQ community are skipping their treatment and only paying a visit if they have no choice left. The government says that this will not hamper the country's fight against HIV, but activists like Stephen think otherwise.
I have a lot of them in my inboxes A lot of them calling me directly, a lot of them sending me messages, sending me emails, telling me, Steve, what are we going to do? I have one, won't mention his name. He came in my inbox and he was like, Steve, can you get any way of getting me medication from the hospital? Because I had to go there today. It's already affecting us, and we're in fear that the fight to end HIV/AIDS by 2030 is in jeopardy right now. I don't think we'll be able to make it that way. We've seen openly homophobic doctors online coming out and attacking people like me because I advocate for LGBTQ plus rights. So don't expect such doctors to not report these people.
Uganda's move could encourage lawmakers in neighboring Kenya and Tanzania to follow suit. Same-sex relations is already illegal in more than 30 African countries. And like these nations, the issue has been a long-running one in Uganda as well. Violence and discrimination against LGBTQ people was already prevalent in the country. But the law deems everyone in the community as a criminal. So basic rights, like living life on your own terms, dressing up the way you want to, or loving the person of your choice, almost everything could land you in jail.
According to the law in Uganda, I'm already a criminal because actually I advocate for LGBTQ plus rights. I'm already a criminal of who I really am. I'm already a criminal if I decide to love according to the way I really am. I'm already a criminal if I make such interviews. But if we keep quiet, who will talk for us? Right now, it's been almost like a month ever since the act was signed, and the world has moved away from us. The world has forgotten us.
The case is even more complex for children. LGBTQ plus kids often face rejection, bullying and violence. And growing up with a law like this is bound to make the journey tougher. The government has practically abandoned a part of the current and the future generations to fend for themselves.
I'll tell him or her that the world we're living in is cruel. The world we're living in won't accept who you are right now. But just know you're not alone. We are many. Try to stay safe. Try to know that you are really loved. Even though your parents find out who you are and they start discriminating, you will chase you away. Know that you are loved. We love you. And don't hesitate to embrace who you really are.
That was Uganda from the public's lens. We will be back with another episode of The Witness. Till then, goodbye.